Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marnise Nicole and I'm an acrylic painter. And for Christmas, I made my grandmother a coloring book of my artwork. So I spent since about September trying to create a coloring book. I was lucky enough to find an art friend as well as a print company to create this art book. And it's a coloring book. It's only a couple of pages, but I was able to turn my artwork into these coloring book pages. And I was really excited because my grandmother, love her to death. She has always really been interested in my art and the concepts, how I do it, and just been really supportive. And like all throughout the summer, we have been talking about coloring books, coloring books, coloring books. She was really getting into it. I had bought her some markers and she was just going at it. And when I was thinking about making a coloring book, I was like, she loves coloring books. This is the perfect gift for her. And so I really go out of my way a lot of the times to get the perfect gift, and I prefer something like special and meaningful. I'm just one of those people. I enjoy giving gifts and receiving gifts but mostly giving gifts. And so I decided early on in the summer, I was like, I want to make a coloring book. And so of course, what do? The first step was to find someone who could turn my artwork into these coloring book pages. Hey guys, so I have a question for y'all. I was just gonna go on Fiverr and try and hire someone, but I realized that I probably know like 200-300 of you guys who watch every video, and I'm looking for someone who can turn my artwork into line drawings for like a coloring book. I want to make my own personal coloring book for my art and then give it to my grandmother for Christmas. So if you are an artist who does like vector art and illustrator and that kind of thing, or you know someone who does that, that is my Christmas present for my grandmother. I would really, she loves coloring books and she always supports my art, and I think she would enjoy it. So if you know someone who can take maybe like 20 of my finished paintings or sketchbook pages or anything like that and turn those into line work so I can print them into like a little book or something, let me know. So thanks. I was lucky enough to find a fellow TikTok artist. Her name is Faye, and she is under the handle Constant Creations, and I'll just put her right here. And she does vector art. I was specifically looking for vector art because I wanted the files to be able to be usable, whether I was going to put it on a mug or make more coloring books or what have you, and then I could send the designs to different places. And while I do dabble in digital art, I knew that the process of making a coloring book takes a lot of time and effort, and that a lot of my pieces were like very complicated or just detail heavy. I know, being the ones who painted them, and since I was working, I just was like, I want to find someone who can do it and collaborate with me on this. And Faye, oh my god, perfect collaborator. She really helped like get these into the perfect coloring book page for me, and she helped me like change like items that were like not reading well, or that I was like, oh, can we fix this and this. It was really back and forth, and it was just so much fun. So I think the first thing you guys would want to see is the actual coloring book. This is it. It's very thin. And I just wanted to do a special shout out really quickly because I actually had the coloring book printed using a local print shop. It's called Alpha Graphics. And first of all, they were a dream to work with because I wanted a minimum order of just 10 copies. And a lot of places were turning me away like, we don't do 10, we do 100 at the minimum. I didn't need 100 coloring books. I wanted like 4 or 5 so that I could have extras for my grandmother, so she could play with one and then go back and change stuff and keep one, as I know she will, in like a frame or something. But I also wanted to be able to send one over to Faye and then maybe give one out to you guys if you're interested. I know it's personalized for my grandmother, but if anyone is interested in a copy, I can do maybe a giveaway or just, you know, let me know in the comments. But yeah, we have that. And this paper is so nice. And I went in to pick up the actual coloring book, and I was just like, let me see what guys got, because like my intention is to make an actual full coloring book with like 30 to 40 pieces in it for next year, end of 2022.
as kind of like an art book and a coloring book. I like have a whole big idea for it. And I was like, let me see your samples. The guy was so nice, and they kind of showed me their samples, kind of the things that they have and what they've worked on, and you know, the whole kind of spiel. And I love the process of working with local teams because they give that extra something. And I love the Alpha Graphics team so much, so I can't wait to bring them a bigger project where I'm gonna have like maybe 100 copies to sell off, or maybe, fingers crossed. But yeah, we did that. And then again, just the quality of the paper, I cannot wait to color in these. So anyway, just wanted to give them a little shout out. Thank you so much again. And then back to the video.
And it is 12 pages total. The cover page I actually did myself. This is a drawing of my grandmother that I did in Procreate. Here it is, just so you can see the like details of it. And this over here is my grandmother and the picture I used for the inspiration. This is a photo that we took over the summer, and I loved it because I was like, oh grandma, I got you to smile. And then going back to the thing, you can tell I spent a lot of time on her face. I just wanted it to be accurate and look like her. And the final effect, I'm going to show you guys her reaction, but the final effect when she saw the picture, she was like, that's me. And I was like I could live off of that feeling that I got when she saw the coloring book on Christmas. I could live off of that for literal years. Like if I could do a Patronus, this would be one of those memories that like powered it. So anyway, I worked on it in Procreate, and I'm not gonna lie, I have not actually been feeling very in tune with digital art lately. I don't know why. Be that as it is, I really wanted to do this digitally, and I really wanted to look like her. So it was a great push on me to finish a digital art piece because I hadn't finished one in a while, and it was also a great practice of those skill sets, seeing as how I had been like shying away from digital art lately. So we have this, and then I took the picture that I did in Procreate and I took it to Canva and then made this front page. So I added some leaves because a lot of the work that she loves of mine particularly had to do with like the forest scenes that I usually paint, that sort of thing. And so I was like, okay, we'll make this kind of themed around like the magical forest. Like that's the theme, that's the setting. And so we have that. And then the first page, again, we have those leaves here, and the first is a little note for my grandmother, and it says acknowledgements, and then it's like, dear grandma, this Christmas I wanted to make you a little something extra for the holidays. I know how much you love coloring books, and I love how much you support and enjoy my paintings, so I thought you would love your own personal copy of my artwork in coloring book form. Thank you for being the best grandma ever. Love, Marnise. And so that was the note that she read, and she had this little moment that I saw where she was just kind of like, I could see that she was touched. I was just like, okay. And then we have 8, I think, total paintings of mine that were turned into coloring book pages. And so firstly, we have this piece right here. And so this is based off of my painting Perspective, which is a piece I did way back in I think 2017, if I'm not much mistaken. Yep, 2017. And it's this painting right here. And look at them side by side. Like, I love that. And so this painting was the painting that really kind of solidified my painting style at the time. I've kind of geared away from that, no longer painting forest pieces as much, but the color stories are very much still me. And so this is my favorite painting of all time. I will never sell this painting. I will always keep it. I've made art prints of it and then never sold them because I have attachment issues to my art, but this is also one of my grandmother's favorite pieces that I ever made. So of course I had to be first, and it came out like this. So the next page that we have is this piece. This is actually from 2021. I did this earlier this year, and it is a girl in a forest. And this originally looked like this. So I was really happy with this piece, particularly because I knew how much my grandmother loved it. This is her favorite piece of 2021. And when she saw the coloring book and she opened the pages, this was one of the first she saw. And she was like, wait, is this your artwork? I was like, yeah, I got some of your favorite pieces together. So that moment was really special as well. And this and this are the same piece. So we have that. The next coloring book page that I wanted to show you, this piece in particular was really fun for me to collaborate with Faye, because this is actually a sketchbook piece. And I wanted to know how easy it would be to turn a sketchbook, because I work often in sketchbooks, into a coloring book page. How would it translate, that sort of thing. So this sketchbook piece is something that I did a while ago with acrylic inks. And so it's just a 4 scene with a kid with a backpack looking at the horizon. I often paint scenes like this. If you notice, perspective was also someone looking into the distance at the horizon. I think that moment is very symbolic for a lot of reasons, and it often plays in my work with there being a horizon, there being something to look forward to, that sort of thing. But I love the color story on it, and I really love this piece. And oftentimes I don't get to show off my sketchbook pieces a lot. So I was like, this one specifically, what can we do with that? The next spread are 2 pieces I no longer actually have, so I'll insert pictures of them. This piece was something I painted for my cousin's sweet 16. She had a Paris themed birthday. And so I made this, and this is a representation of her in Paris. And this used to say happy birthday Chicago, but now it just says happy birthday. And then we have this piece, which is really my first kind of major piece. It's still in a gallery that I'm not quite sure who has their hands on it, because it was on display in a gallery when COVID happened, and then the place closed, and now this could possibly be in storage somewhere. I'm not quite sure. But this piece, this was the start of my kind of forest contemplative series of paintings, and so now it is forever memorized in coloring book form. This piece is called Elliott, and it is originally like this. And I actually did an art raffle in 2018 where I gave this piece away to a winner after I sold a bunch of raffle tickets. That in and of itself was fun, but again, I have attachment issues to my art, and so I was really like kind of quietly upset after someone actually won the raffle and I had to give the piece away. I was like, wait, but my baby, it's gone. But here it is, and again, this is just her looking off into the distance. Something majorly throughout a lot of my older work, a lot of my concepts. And then we have this piece, which is one of the first pieces where I started to play with fashion and illustration. If you know anything about me, I love fashion. I love playing with cool designs and patterns. I'm very artsy when it comes to my own personal style, but also I love color, I love patterns, I love watching shows like Project Runway, and I love just fashion, like a lot of things. A big major reason why Ashley Longshore is one of my favorite artists of all time is because 1, her art is fun, but 2, she was on a season of Project Runway. And like, now that is an art life goal of mine, and I know no better way to say I've made it than becoming a fashion darling and featuring my paintings and my art in Project Runway. And the painting itself looks like this. So we have these, and there's so many ways to get this to look like a different color story. You have the character in the foreground, you have the sea in the background. You could do this coloring book page at sunset. You could do so many different things with the outfit, so love that. And then one of the final pages, this is something I did last year in 2020, and it is a scene from a kind of series of pages I did representing the seasons. This specifically was fall, and it looked like this. And so it has a horse going down a highway, and you kind of see the oranges and the pretty trees that you would see in the fall season, especially here in Connecticut. And then we translated it like this. And then finally we have this last page, which is my first and only oil painting. I actually hate oil painting. I could not abide by the smell or the slow dry time or the mediums, and wow, I could have learned to adjust to them. I love acrylics. There's no reason for me not to use acrylics, and so this is my first and only oil painting. I'm glad I played around with the medium, but like I'm never going back. Unlike watercolors, which I could kind of like make myself enjoy and kind of get into, this oils was not a thing for me. But I love this painting. It's of me and my sister. We were wearing our pearls, and I was just like, this is something I would like to paint. And so we transferred it into this, made it a little bigger, gave the patterns, and this is something which was very much Faye in design, because this original painting had so much texture, and I couldn't figure out how to get it to transcribe into a coloring book page, and she helped me by, you know, helping me come up with patterns and getting this to look like this. And so we have that. And so that is my coloring book that I did for my grandmother's Christmas present. I really love how it came out, and I really love the process. So later next year, I'm going to be working with Faye to continue adding coloring book pages from all of my artwork. And by the end of the year, hopefully of 2022, I will have a full coloring book with about 30 to 40 pages of my artwork to sell, because again, I really love the process. I love how all of these came out. And so that's it. That was my gift to my grandmother. And now I'm sure you all wanted to see the reaction, so I'll insert that here. What do you think this is?
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's a picture.
You think it's a picture? Okay. That is you.
She did a video for yes. Show it for the camera. Oh, wow.
Hey, girl, talented.
Oh my God. That's me.
I got you extra copies.
What?
But me and my friend worked on, and we made you a coloring book.
Oh my God.
Was I supposed to do that? Maybe.
Kyrie? Waters? Come here. Is this, wait a minute. Is this some of your pictures too?
I turned my pieces I knew you liked into artwork for you. Into coloring books.
Goodness. I know when as soon as I open this, I remember this.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna put up somebody. Thank you.
Oh, that is so
Piece of yours is ready. I gotta order no body wash now.
Open my neck with a little hat.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to open it, and it's too heavy for me to pick up.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Oh, beautiful.
I'm coming.
Thank you, Kyrie. Thank you.
Oh, you opened yours, Auntie?
Yeah.
Like this?
Y'all all got me. Thank you. She ain't gonna do no work for Elliott. She ain't gonna do no work. What we're gonna do is lay down. Then we're gonna stop watching. Yes, thank you. Shower with pink. Aroma pink.
Oh,
That's why I got her tray so she be set up.
I knew you'd like it. That's why I kept asking you about coloring books.
Hey, this is
And I'm out. Bye.